10 greatest Stoic quotes to build resilience. We are responsible for our obligations, our work, our relationships, and our hobbies. It may appear to be a lot to deal with if you do not have the appropriate mental tools ready. We can develop the ability to decrease the influence of day-to-day life and to guard ourselves from the things that are around us that threaten to intrude on our peace of mind. However, all of these things are manageable. Stoicism is a philosophy that is abundant in practical frameworks and viewpoints that can assist us in developing a mental resilience capable of withstanding the hardships that life presents. My top 10 are as number 10. The phrase, "we are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality," is quite insightful. The point that Seneca brings up is an important one. We worry about a lot of things, yet the majority of them are nothing more than figments of our imagination. It is extremely unlikely that they will ever become actual, and they are not genuine. Spending our time worrying about hypothetical conflicts, predicaments, and dangers that never come to pass in the real world is a waste of our time. To put it simply, all they do is bring us pain. It is important to pay attention to the things that are causing you concern, since there is a significant likelihood that you are simply anxious over your imagination. Number 9. It is not the things themselves that cause people to feel uneasy, rather it is the judgments that they form about them. This is Epictetus. When we go through anything that causes us to suffer, there is a good likelihood that we are not suffering as a result of the item itself, but rather as a result of how we perceive it. Imagine, for instance, that you are forced to wait in traffic. There is no such thing as good or bad traffic, it is simply a line of cars at this point. However, the way you perceive the traffic determines whether it is positive or negative. Number 8. If you want something good, you have to get it from yourself, says by Epictetus. A well-known proverb states that one should be the change that one wishes to see in the world. Remember that you are responsible for your thoughts and actions and that you should not expect anything from other people. If you find yourself in an unfavorable predicament, you should be the one to bring that scenario to a more favorable state. If you find yourself moaning about something, you should consider what you may do to improve the quality of the situation. Put your faith in yourself to make your life better. There is a possibility that you will have to wait a very long time for something nice to arrive from the world or other people. Number 7. You can bind up my leg, but in the end, not even Zeus has the power to restrict my freedom of choice. It was Epictetus. An essential principle for living is outlined by Epictetus. Although we are not always able to control the events that occur to us, we are always able to control how we react to those events. Both the way we behave and the way we react are under our control. No one can take away this freedom of choice from us. Number 6. What is the benefit of bemoaning problems, which make them more difficult to deal with? It was Seneca. In life, there is a certain degree of hardship, and it can be challenging at times. On the other hand, people frequently make their pain worse by clinging to their problems and exacerbating them. Moaning, complaining, and acting like a victim are all examples of this behavior. The alternative is to examine the challenges you have faced, determine what you may gain from them, acknowledge that you are responsible for your development, and then proceed with your life. Indulging in self-pity or placing blame on the outside world for your misfortune is not going to bring you very much success. These things are anchors that bind you to the past and take you down into the waves of your anguish. They continue to hold you captive. Number 5. You should not desire for everything to occur in the way that you would like it to, but rather wish that everything occurs in the way that it actually will. If you do this, your life will flow smoothly. This is Epictetus. Epictetus provides a thought-provoking observation in this passage that is essential to the growth of resilience. The expectations that we need to be managed. You're putting yourself in a position to suffer if you have the kind of hope that everything will act the way you want it to behave. You are powerless to influence the majority of the events that occur in your life. You have no say in how they will play out. Furthermore, if you have placed an expectation on the universe to behave in a manner that is by your wishes, what you have done is hung your well-being on occurrences that you have no control over. It is now up to chance to choose how your health will turn out. It is easily broken. Instead, you should come to terms with the fact that the world and its inhabitants will behave by their inherent characteristics. All that is left for you to do is choose how you will react to them. Number 4. Do not elaborate on your philosophical stance. Put it into action. This is Epictetus. The advantages of reading philosophical works can be rather significant. The pages of books, articles, and essays contain a vast amount of information that can be put to use in real-world situations. There are further advantages to having a conversation about our philosophy, how we approach various issues, and our perspectives on some of the most challenging questions that life presents. Epictetus, on the other hand, makes the point that reading and conversation account for only a portion of the issue. To fully reap the benefits of our frameworks, we must first put them into practice. It is not enough for us to simply speak the talk. We must also put our words into action and walk the walk. Number 3. When we are no longer able to change a situation, We are challenged to change ourselves, says the 8th chapter of the book. It was Viktor Frankl. There is a connection between this concept and Epictetus' dichotomy of control. Even though we have the potential to alter a great number of things in our environment, there are a great number of things that are absolutely beyond our sphere of influence. It is a challenge for us to look within ourselves when we discover that we have done everything in our power to affect our circumstances, but despite this, we continue to suffer. Simply altering how we understand our circumstances can help us alleviate some of the anguish that we experience. Is there a possibility that we could benefit from it? Are there any possibilities for advancement in this area? Were we able to be more resilient in the future as a result of this adversity? What does this teach us, if anything at all? Number 2. You have control over your mind, not over the events that occur outside of it. Recognize this, and you will discover the strength you need. Marcus Aurelius in Latin. Our thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, and behaviors are the only things that we feel we have complete control over. About everything else, we do not have any influence or control. When we come to this realization, we can accept the environment that surrounds us for what it is and accept responsibility for how we react to it. Because of this, we can avoid suffering unnecessarily as a result of us expecting the world to behave in a particular manner. By what Marcus Aurelius wrote, it gives us a certain amount of strength. Number 1. There is an opportunity for kindness to be performed wherever there is a human being, says the philosopher. It was Seneca. We are accountable for the activities that we take. When we decide to behave harshly, we will do so. We are going to show compassion if we decide to do so. This burden falls on every individual. In every place where there are people, there is the possibility of both kindness and cruelty. It is a choice that people have to make. Do you like it? Kindly give your valuable response in our comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting and informative videos.